Day recognized present to the jury.
Yes, ma'am.
Defense. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll recall, Mr. Loyd was in cross-examination by the state when we recessed last night. So, Mr. Ridgway, you may presume.
Thank you, Your Honor. When you went over to the Daniels' house that night of December 13th, your purpose of going, I think you said, was to just explain yourself to Sade?
Yes, sir.
You sort of calm things down between you and her,
Yes, sir.
so she wouldn't go get an abortion.
Yes, sir.
Now, you testified that her mother and grandmother wanted her to get an abortion. Did they ever tell you that?
She told me.
Sade told you.
Yes.
So that's how you knew that.
Yes, she told me.
So the only person who's alive that can talk about that conversation is you.
No, when I told her father that she was pregnant,
Yeah.
and her father, when her mother came to the kitchen for me, her father he was like, Sade's pregnant. She was like, I ain't no baby.
I'm sorry?
She said, I ain't no baby. She already knew that Sade was pregnant because she got the thing through the mail. So she was just letting it be known I knew she didn't want to have the baby.
You just knew she didn't want to raise that child.
I don't know whether she wanted to raise the child or whether she wanted to have the baby, but she didn't have to worry about raising my child. I'm
Okay.
raising my own child.
You were going to raise the child and take care of it yourself.
Yes.
But the whole question of the abortion that came to you from Sade.
Yes, and not just Sade, just like I just said, when I talked to her father, and I told him that Sade was pregnant, and he told his wife when she came in that Sade was pregnant, she was like, I ain't no baby, but she knew Sade was pregnant because she got the letter through the mail letting her know that Sade was pregnant.
Ms. Dixon Daniels knew she was pregnant. Did she say, I want her to have an abortion?
No, she didn't tell me that.
Okay. So Sade is the only person who said abortion to you.
Yeah, she don't want to say abortion.
Now, when you took her to the real estate class and you parked outside and slept in the car, that was so Sade could sort of keep an eye on it.
So she could stay focused on school.
Right. She would have to be worried about what you were doing.
Yes.
You weren't there to keep an eye on her.
No.
And she was be worried about what you were doing because she was afraid you might be out with other women.
No, she was worried about what I was doing because she came in a relationship with trust issues for her past relationships.
Well, what did she think you might be out doing?
Whatever her past relationship was, she probably thought I was out messing with other women. Okay, that's how I talk. But got to change the way I talk. She was worried about me, whether I was doing something, because in her past relationship, that's what she went through. So she brought her problems from her past relationship in this relationship, something I don't do.
Regardless of why she was there, her problem was she thought you were out messing with other women.
She was worried about that.
Yes, and that upset her.
She didn't know it or not.
Yeah, right. That upset her thinking you might be out there messing with other women.
I don't know if it upset her, how it made her feel. But she probably thought I was out there dealing with other women. She asked me what you was doing. I told her I was at home asleep. So from that day on, I slept in the car so she didn't got to worry about what I'm doing.
So you slept in the car so she wouldn't think you were out messing with other women?
Yes.
So she wouldn't have liked it if you were out messing with other women?
What woman would?
Okay. So when you went over there the night of the 13th, you were just trying to kind of cool down the situation?
I wanted to explain myself to her, to let her know why situation happened, why I was doing what I was doing.
Right. And so one of the things you told her was that you were having sex with another woman the very day after you broke up with her.
No, I had sex with another woman that very day that the incident happened.
I'm sorry. When did you told her you had sex with another woman?
The very day the incident happened, I had sex with another woman.
Okay, so that very day, you told her you had sex with another woman that day?
When I went over there and she asked me.
Right. And you told her you had?
Yes.
But your purpose in being there was just try to cool things down and explain yourself.
Yes.
So telling her you had had sex with another woman that very day made her mad enough to go get a gun?
I guess it did. Or made her upset enough, mad, upset, however she felt.
She didn't go get the gun because she was worried about you having guns.
Negative.
It was because she was
did-
just mad because you told her you'd had sex with somebody that
She
day.
was mad because I was moving along with my life and she was losing her key.
So when she comes down with this gun, she never really pulled it out of her pants.
No, when she came down with the gun, she called me to the side of the house.
But she didn't pull the gun out on you at first.
She had her hand on the gun.
She had her hand on it, but she didn't pull it out.
No,
She didn't say, I'm going to shoot you with this.
she didn't say she wasn't.
She didn't say she was going to shoot you.
She didn't say she wasn't.
Your Honor, the court instructed the witness to answer the questions.
Mr. Loyd, listen to the question you're being asked and answer that question. Mr. Ridgway, go ahead.
My question to you is, she did not say, I'm going to shoot you.
No, she didn't say that.
All right. But you decided you needed to pull your own guns out and point them at her.
Yes, because I asked her what she's going to shoot me and she didn't tell me she wasn't.
All right, so you pulled your two guns that you had with you
Yes.
and told her to drop it.
I told her to drop that gun, put it,
Okay.
just drop the gun on the ground or throw the gun to the side. And
And-
don't bring her hand forward. That's what I told her.
And she dropped it, but she dropped it in a way that you,
She brought her hand forward and then
Right.
she threw it.
so at that point, you were prepared to shoot her.
I pulled the trigger.
You were ready to shoot her.
I pulled the trigger. I
You were-
thought she was going to shoot me.
You were trying to
I just
shoot.
told you I pulled the trigger. What else you want me to say?
I want you to tell me you were trying to shoot her.
I pulled the trigger. I answered the question. What else you want me to say?
Hold on. Mr. Loyd, when you hear objection, you need to stop talking. The court reporter cannot take down everyone talking at the same time. Mr. Ridgway, one more time, ask the question.
You were prepared to shoot her.
I pulled the trigger because she
Shoot
brought
the
her
gun.
hand forward.
You pulled the trigger, the gun would fire, right?
Say that again?
You pulled the trigger. When you pull the trigger on a gun, the gun's going to fire.
Yes, I guess I didn't pull it hard because I reacted to what she
You
did.
pulled it knowing it would fire.
Yes, I pulled it reacting to what she did.
Pointed at her.
Of course.
Now, when you got back around to the front of the house and Ronald Stewart came out, did you say you were worried he might be coming out with a gun?
I didn't say that.
Were you concerned he might have a gun when he came out?
I don't know what he might be doing. I don't know what he's seen. I don't know when exactly I put everything up. So I don't know what he's seen.
Was it in your mind he might have a gun when he comes out?
I just told you I don't know what was in his mind.
Mr. Loyd, you need to answer the question you're being asked. Go ahead, Mr. Ridgway.
Objection, I need to come side for objection.
Mr.
'Cause I'm
Lemon,
answering his
have a
question.
seat. Go ahead, Mr. Ridgway.
Yes or no, and then you can explain. In your mind, were you thinking Ronald Stewart may have a gun?
No.
So he comes out, and the three of you are standing there talking.
Yes.
And you've got three guns.
Yes.
You know Sade doesn't have a gun because you took
I
hers.
took her gun.
And you had no reason to think Ronald Stewart had a gun.
No.
Now, did Ronald Stewart say, y'all just need to go your own ways, we need to cool this down, talk another day? Did he say that to
I don't
you?
know exactly what he said. He said that y'all probably need to talk some other time or whatever. But when he came out, I told him we were straight. She told him we were straight.
All right. But he was saying that y'all needed to separate and talk another day?
I guess that's what he said. I don't know exactly what he said.
Was that the message that he was conveying?
He was forcing himself on us. We both of us told we didn't need him.
He was trying to get you to separate.
I guess whatever he was doing, I don't know what was in his mind.
But you didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
You wanted to talk this out.
No. Well, I wanted to do whatever she wanted to do. Sade could have went in the house. She could have went in the house when she came up from the backyard.
Well, you had made her mad enough to go get a gun. You had almost pulled the trigger on her.
Judge, he's testified that it's not closing argument.
Overruled. Go ahead.
How did you think this was going to end?
Say that again.
How did you think this encounter was going to end?
I thought he was going to come out and go back in the house. She didn't need him. I didn't need him.
And then how was
And
it
she
going to
told
end?
him that, and I told him that. But I guess he seen me some other way.
And so how did you think it was going to end between you and Sade?
I don't know how it was going to end. He didn't give it a chance to end. He attacked me.
I'm questioning you is how did you think it was going to end?
If he would have went in,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would go talk to her. Whatever we chose, whatever we decided, I would go give her her gun back, and I was going to leave.
So even though both of you were angry enough,
I
mad
wasn't.
enough, scared enough, or whatever, that you both pulled guns, you thought you could work this out?
No, I pulled a gun because she went and got a gun. I
Yeah.
wasn't angry. Check the text message.
In spite of the fact there's guns here, you thought you could work this out?
Yes. She didn't have a gun at first.
You could have gotten in your car and driven away.
Negative.
You could not have gotten in your car and driven away.
Negative.
What would have prevented you from getting in your car and driving away?
Because when we came from the back of the house, a brother came out.
When her brother came out and said, y'all just need to go, this is another time, you could have walked out, got in your car and driven
When
away.
her brother came out, after what was going on, I said, we straight, we chilling, we talking. And he asked her, and she said we was straight. So we was cool. We didn't need her brother. Her brother could have went back in the house, what he should have did.
What prevented you from getting in your car and driving away?
She didn't ask me to leave. She didn't tell me to leave. If she would have asked me to leave, she would have told me to leave. I would have left.
Nothing prevented you from getting in your car and driving away.
She didn't ask me to leave, and she didn't tell me to leave.
Yes or no? Nothing prevented you from getting in your car and driving away.
She didn't ask me to leave. She didn't tell me to leave. You asked me what prevented me. I just told you. She didn't ask me to leave.
You could have gotten in your car and driven away without her asking you to, though, couldn't you?
Her brother came out, and he was right there. He asked me what was going on. I said, we straight. We talking, and he asked her, and she said, we good. Go back in the house.
So did her brother or Sade keep you from getting in your car and leaving?
No, because when her brother came out, and he was forcing himself on her, so I went to explain him to what was going on with me and her. And so when I went and explained what was going on with me and her, that made her even more mad because I went telling her brother our business. I tried to give him insight of what's going on with us so he can go on back in the house and mind his business. But that made her even more mad.
So, but at that point, you had Sade's gun, right?
Yes.
So you didn't feel threatened by that gun.
I had it in my pocket at the time.
Did you say to Ronald Stewart, no, she's not going anywhere, we're going to talk today?
Negative. Negative. She never tried to go anywhere.
So if Ronald Stewart said that you told...
Don't answer the question. Finish the question.
So if Ronald Stewart said that you said to him, no, she ain't going nowhere, we're going to talk about this today, that did not happen.
That's a lie. Ronald Stewart said a lot of lies.
Mr. Loyd, you need to
He
not
just
answer
asked
questions
me.
until I
Oh,
tell you
okay.
to. All right,
Well,
objection
sound
is
like one.
overruled. Go ahead and answer.
So you didn't
That's-
say that.
No, sir.
And if he says you said that, he's wrong.
He's wrong. He's positively wrong.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes. Wherever you can view that, and are not blocking that or the witness.
For the record, I'm showing you Defense Exhibit 15. Now, this conversation you say you were having with Ronald Stewart and Sade, this is the area where this is happening right
Yes.
here? So if Ronald Stewart said that he was standing here and you had moved back here, that's wrong.
Positively, what would I move there for?
It's wrong.
I said positively wrong. What would I move there for?
So y'all are standing here when he grabbed you.
Yes. And Ronald Stewart also said she went from 1 to 5. If she went from 1 to 5 and I went from 2 to 4, why 5 didn't just go in the house? If she ever tried to go in the house, all that's a lie.
All right, because the court instructed the witness to.
Mr. Loyd, you can only talk when you've been asked a question, all right? So unless there's a question before you, don't talk. Go ahead, Mr. Loyd.
So this, what you call the tussle, starts right here.
He attacked me right there.
And you kind of go across the yard
He
and
went
end
across
up
the yard.
here.
Yes.
And this is the point where the first shot gets fired.
Yes.
So if Mr. Stewart said that he was standing on the porch with his arms out and you were standing in the yard when the first shot got fired, that's wrong.
Yes. He was close to it. It's a small yard.
So y'all are up close in this tussle when the first shot gets fired. Did you shoot it on purpose or was it an accident?
I believe it was more of an accident.
So it was an accident that you shot him.
When we was touching and we broke, the gun went off.
All right, so where did he get shot? What part of his body?
I think it was to the left shoulder, or to the left.
In his chest?
By his chest, to the left side of his chest.
And then he fell back onto the porch?
He fell in the angle that we was in. He fell back on the porch that way, in between the pillars.
So if Ronald Stewart says you walked up over him and held the gun like this and shot him as he laid on his back on the porch, that's wrong.
Yes. And also, well, go ahead. No, she told me I often explain something else, what his write-up they got. Because Ronald Stewart said I walked this way after I shot him, and I guess Sade was just still standing at the door, just waiting that way for me to shoot her. Go ahead.
So did you, all the shots that you fired, you stayed pretty close right where you were?
Yes.
Where the first shot was fired, that's about where they were all fired from?
From what I remember, yes.
So if Ronald Stewart says that you came around this way and across the porch and continued shooting, that's wrong?
If I came across the porch, what was Sade still standing at the door? Ronald Stewart said people was knocking on the door. Wasn't nobody knocking on the door.
If Ronald Stewart said that you came this way, around the pillar, onto the porch as you were
Yes,
shooting,
that's wrong.
that's wrong.
Yes, that's wrong.
So since you did all the shooting from out in the yard, if there was a bullet fragment in the porch where Ronald Stewart says he was lying when you shot him, that couldn't have come from your gun.
I don't understand the bullet fragment, what you talking about.
Part of a bullet.
Because I was the only one shooting, so even the fragment, all the bullet, I guess, came from my gun. So
Can you explain how it hit the concrete hard enough to break out some of the concrete and leave a hole in the concrete?
no.
Now, at what point in this tussle y'all were having did you realize that the gun had fallen out of your pocket?
I don't know. I know I didn't have it.
When?
I don't know when it fell out.
Now, when did you realize you didn't have it?
When he attacked me, it fell out somewhere during the tussle. I can feel a gun in my pocket, so I don't know when it fell out during the tussle.
When did you feel that it fell out?
I just told you, I don't know.
Did you realize that it had fallen out before you fired the first shot?
Overruled.
Say it again?
Did you realize it had fallen out before you fired the first shot?
Yes.
So when that gun went off, in your head, you're going, I don't have this gun anymore.
No, I didn't have time to think for that. I knew I didn't have the gun, and I thought she hadn't armed herself. And when she made a move, I just was reacting to everything around me. He attacked me. He put my mindset somewhere else.
Where did your mind go?
In defense mode. I went in warrior mode. And I was just reacting. I was being attacked.
So in this struggle with Ron Stewart across the yard, you had the presence of mind to realize this gun was now out of your pocket.
I can feel it wasn't there.
So you realize it's not out, it's not there, and you're thinking, well, maybe Sade picked it up.
I believe she had rearmed herself.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
So you went into war mode and you just started shooting.
Everything happened just like that.
And were you just shooting wildly?
I was just shooting.
Just wildly?
I was just shooting where she was coming from. I was just shooting. I'm standing to the left, and all the shots was going to the right. She came from this way, over the part where the gun, whatever the gun fell out from.
Were you shooting at Sade?
Yes.
So if Ronald Stewart says that you shot Sade after you had shot him and after you came up onto the porch, that's wrong.
I don't remember that, no.
Is it wrong, or you might be right, you just don't remember?
I don't remember that. I don't remember doing any of that. And just like I told my lawyer, I only remember shooting Ron one time.
Can you explain how Ron got shot a second time?
I just told you, I only remember shooting Ron one time. I told my lawyer that from the very beginning.
Now, you said that you thought the Daniels house was a gun house. What did you mean by that?
That they had guns. Sade always talked about how her family guns, that she got shooters, and she liked the guns. She told me they had guns.
You had seen the 9mm of hers at the house,
Yes,
and that's the one you'd put in your back pocket.
the one I took from her.
And had you ever seen any other guns at their house?
No, she just told me about the other gun that she had.
So again, your only source of information about guns in the Daniels house was Sade.
Yes.
There's nobody else, there's nobody alive who can confirm that.
She told me.
So you expected that when, in response to the shooting on their front porch, Ms. Dixon Daniels opened the door onto her porch, she might be coming out with a AK-47 to take you down?
Oh no, whoever was coming out could be coming out with a gun. I fired 2 shots for whoever would come out to get down.
Yeah. So you didn't know who was coming out, you just figured whoever it was, they were coming out.
I just was reacting. I
You were
was just
shooting
reacting.
away. But the only shots that were fired at the Daniels house that morning were fired by you.
Yes.
And of the 3 people in the front yard, when this started, you're the only one that didn't get shot.
Yes.
But what happened there that morning, or that evening, and all the shooting, was because Ron attacked you.
Yes.
And you thought
First, I
Sade-
shot, they went and got a gun, then Ron attacked.
And then, so Ron attacked you, and then you thought Sade had a gun, and that's why all the shooting took place.
Yes.
So it really wasn't your fault.
No.
And as you said yesterday, when you went to federal prison for drugs that weren't yours, that wasn't your fault either.
No. The drugs wasn't mine.
And when the text message that you sent to Sade's phone after she was dead came up as, hope you don't make it, you didn't, that's not what you were meaning. You were meaning, hope you do make it.
Yes.
And so the fact that it says don't's just a typo.
Yes. And you got to read the whole text.
Not really what you meant to say.
No. I have plenty of typos in our texts.
Now, you said that you wanted to turn yourself in.
Yes.
And after all, this has just been a terrible misunderstanding. You were just really trying to save your own life.
Yes. I was in fear for my life, saving my life, whatever you want to call it.
But you didn't stick around or come back to the scene to explain that to the police that night, did you?
Well, why would I stick around the scene and they got people in there that already hate me? Would I stick around for them to come out and shoot me?
You didn't come back, you didn't come back to the scene when the police were there, did you?
No.
You ran away.
Yeah, I don't trust the police, and I felt like the police was gonna kill me. I felt like my life was over with after that situation happened.
After the shooting was over, you didn't go to the Orange County Sheriff's Office and turn yourself in, did you?
No.
And when you went over to Volusia County, you didn't go to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office to say, I want to turn myself in.
No.
You could have gone to your probation officer and said, hey, you need to know what they're saying about me, but you didn't turn yourself in to your probation officer.
I wasn't going to no law enforcement when the law enforcement is lying on me, making up stories, trying to kill me. What would I go to law enforcement for? I asked them to do one simple thing, to change some lies that they put out to the news. And they couldn't do that. Why not?
And you didn't take the opportunity to turn yourself in to Deborah Clayton on the Walmart on January 9th either, did you?
No.
When you saw her in the store?
I wasn't even paying.
Sustained.
We were approached?
Yeah. You may proceed, Mr. Legend, once the court reporter has set back up again.
You saw Sergeant Clayton inside the Walmart on January 9th. Not
Yes.
wearing a police uniform.
Yes.
Obviously, she's a police officer.
Yes.
Not try to turn yourself in for her, did you?
No.
This was inside a department store.
Yes.
People coming and going.
Yes.
Lots of witnesses.
Yes.
While you were inside the Walmart, what, a case of water
Yes.
and some food?
Yes.
planning on staying low for a while?
Yes.
Now, during all this time, you were buying new cell phones and changing numbers?
Say it again.
During this time between the shooting of Sade Dixon and the time you were ultimately arrested, you changed your phone number simultaneously.
Oh, yes.
You were staying in an abandoned house.
Yes. Anywhere, everywhere.
You were trying to avoid being arrested.
I was trying to avoid being killed.
You came to the point where you decided you would turn yourself in to risk going to prison so that Sade Dixon's children could have the reward money.
Yes, but that wasn't my main reason. My main reason was to turn myself in because they was framing one of my exes. They had a mental illness.
Part of the reason you were willing to turn yourself in, risk going to prison, so that Sade Dixon's children could have the reward money.
That was part of the reason. I said the main reason was because they was framing my ex.
Okay? Just as in the drug case, you had pled guilty and risk going to prison to protect somebody else's house.
Yes.
Now, the night you were arrested, you hear that the police are out front, tried to go out the back door, did you?
No, I didn't even have any clothes on. I heard noises, and I went out the back door, and the police flashed the light on me, and then I went back in.
So you went out the back door, and there were the police behind the house.
I didn't go out the back door. I looked out the back window, the back sliding door. I didn't go out the door. I didn't even have any clothes on.
You were looking out the back of the house, and there were police out there.
Someone flashed the light,
You opened the carport door.
and I went to the side door to look out that door.
Okay, so there's police out there.
Yes,
But now you're surrounded by the police.
yes.
Fair to say that your testimony here is death of Sade Dixon, death of the unborn child, injuries to Ronald Stewart, shots at the door where Stephanie Dixon Daniels was, Dominique Daniels was, even the text message that said, "Hope you don't make it." None of that's your fault.
That wasn't a whole text message.
Compound question.
Overruled.
None of that was your fault.
That wasn't a whole text message. Said that wasn't a whole text message. He's admitting just half of stuff like the news do
So
to try to prove some point that ain't there.
The text message that said in part, "I hope you don't make it." You didn't,
That
that's
was,
not what you
no,
said.
no,
My question to you is, none of this is your fault.
no.
In fact, you're really the victim here today, aren't you?
Of course I am.
I have no more questions.
Redirect.
Where have you lived since you came out of that house?
Which house?
The house where you were arrested. Where have you lived?
In 33rd.
I'm sorry?
In 33rd.
No. When you came out of the house and got arrested back in 2017, where has your residence
In 33rd County Jail.
been? Okay. So you lived in the county jail.
Yeah, in a cell locked down 23 hours a day.
Okay. And during that period of time, have you had an opportunity to look at all the evidence, meet with me on multiple occasions?
Yes,
We've talked about
Yes.
And you've told me the same story from the beginning.
My story been the same since the incident happened.
And when you got arrested back in 1994,
8.
98,
Yes.
and before the feds, you were charged with battery on a law enforcement officer.
Yes.
You went to trial.
I went to trial on the charge.
You testified at trial.
Yes, I testified.
That white police officer testified at trial.
Yes.
And you were convicted and got 4.5 years in prison.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, my first felony.
And then at around the same time, they indicted you on these drug charges.
These questions are also outside the scope of law.
Sustained.
Did they indict you on the drug charges about the same?
Yes, I was in trial on the police case, and I got arrested in trial in front of the jury, and they still made me go to trial. I got found guilty.
That was on the battery on the Leo.
While in the battle of Leo, they arrested me. The NBI with the feds and all them came in while I was in trial, arrested me in front of the jury, and still made me go to trial, and I got found guilty.
And so you got sentenced to 4.5 years.
I got sentenced to 4.5 years for my first felony.
And when you took the plea to the federal charge, what was the sentence?
I got 12 years, 7 months.
Now, at some point, you were indicted on that charge and they alleged crack cocaine. Remember that?
Yes.
Did at some point you get a reduction in sentence because of that charge of crack cocaine?
Hold on.
Subject to the leading and the relevance.
Sustained on both counts.
Did you get a reduction in sentence?
I just sustained an objection, Mr. Lenneman. Move on.
And would it be fair to say that you testified that you were not guilty of that charge?
Yes.
In the 90s, did you sell drugs?
Yes.
And there were times when you were doing things that were against the law?
Yes. But
You didn't get caught.
no.
But in this particular case, they accused you of something that you didn't do.
No, those drugs wasn't mine. It was my best friend, and he claimed, he's out there in the audience right now. It was his drugs, but he claimed the drugs, but they wanted me too. So they told me if I don't claim it too, they're gonna charge my girl because they got the drugs out of her house. They was gonna charge her and give her the time. So I laid down so she wouldn't go.
Tell me what happened with that incident where you were charged with battery on a law enforcement officer.
Well, I went to my son's mom's house. I was staying with her. I called both of my wife. I believe in multiple women. So I called both of my wife. I was in a 4-year relationship. Within those 2 years, I got with my son's mother, and she ended up being pregnant. And I was staying more with her. So at the time she had my son, he was born with asthma, so he was on a breathing machine. So she went and stayed with her mom at the time because she was upstairs and downstairs. So she went and stayed with her mom. So I wasn't going to stay with her mom. Like, I'm a grown man, I'm not going to stay with her mom. So I was going back home to my wife. So I came to get my son to go home. So when I come to get my son, come to the house, she was like, what's up? Or where you going? Or where you taking him? I put my son in the car, strapped him up. I said, I'm finna go home. So when I said I'm finna go home, I guess that struck a chord in her because home to her was me and her place because I was with her more than I was with my first wife. So she was like, oh, you're not finna take my baby.
I'm going to object to the narrative and non-responsive answer.
Sustained.
So let's get to the point of what you had contact with this police officer. What happened?
But I got cut. My baby mother cut me that day. She went and got a knife. I didn't know she was going to get a knife. She came back and cut me. I had to block the knife. So she cut both my tendons in my finger. So I had to have surgery. They hooked this tendon back up to this finger, but this tendon wasn't hooked back up. It shot back up my arm. So they said hopefully my body will heal itself. So they pinned my fingers back and put me in the cast. So I was in the cast, and I would be able to take the cast off and on because I was in pain the whole time. And I was driving the car I was going to use the restroom. It had no tag on the car. I just bought the car for one of my wives. So I was driving the car around the corner to go use the bathroom, and the police got behind me. So when he got behind me, I see him coming, so I bend a few corners, I park, and I jump out the car. So when I jump out the car, I could have just ran, but I ain't feel like running. I had to use the bathroom anyways. So I started walking back towards him, and he got out the car. He came up to me. I was the only one out. So he was like, where your license at? I'm like, license for what? I'm not driving. He was like, I'm like, license for what? I wasn't driving. So he grabbed my hand. So he's like, put your hands behind your back. I'm like, all right, man, but just be careful. It's a $50 bond for driving suspended license. He grabbed my hand. I'm like, all right, man, just be careful, because my hand fucked up. So he went to squeeze and twisting my hand, telling me he don't give a fuck. So I hit him in his shit.
And what did you do?
We started fighting. And then when I got him up off me, I tried to run, and he was running. He ran behind me. He pulled out his stick. He swung his stick. I jumped back. I started back running again. But I had just started smoking weed that time in my life. So I was like, probably like 20, 22. I had just started smoking weed. So I couldn't breathe good. So I couldn't even run that far. So I just went ahead and laid down. He jumped on my back and maced me. And I ended up going to jail.
You got 4.5 years for that.
Yes. My first felony, I got 4 years.
And is it fair to say from a very young age that you didn't trust the police?
No, not at all.
Moving the evidence, Judge.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
All right. This will be received without objection as State's Exhibit number 6, or Defense Exhibit, I'm sorry, number 16.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Ridgway, you may recross on the new areas only.
Yes, ma'am. On this battery on a Leo, Leo stands for the law enforcement officer.
Yes.
You went to trial.
Yes, I went to trial.
Jury heard the officer's side.
Yes.
Jury heard your side.
Yes, and the jury seen me get arrested in court too. A whole bunch of
You got found guilty.
SWAT team came in and
Got found guilty.
yes.
But out there on the side of the road, it was the police officer who started this and put you in pain and really kind of caused the whole problem.
Yes, he grabbed my hand, and he went to squeeze and twist my hand, telling me he don't give a fuck.
Once again, you were the real victim there.
Of course I was.
Thank you.
Redirect? All right. Thank you, Mr. Loyd. You may step down.
Let's go back to your seats.
All right. Defense, you may call your next witness.
Defense rest, Judge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to send you to the jury room for a moment. I need to speak to the attorneys. We'll be right back with you as soon as we can. Well, all right, Mr. Loyd, you've still affirmed you're under oath. One second, Mr. Ridgway. Your attorneys have rested their case, so without you telling me what you all have discussed, are you satisfied with their decision to rest the case without calling the firearms expert? Are there any other witnesses that you want them to call that they have not called at this time? Do you need any more time to discuss with your attorneys their decision to rest at this time? All right, thank you very much. Mr. Ridgway, is the state going to put on rebuttal?
Yes, ma'am, we would like to.
Okay. How many witnesses do you think?
It would be one witness, but before I attempt it, we need to discuss it.
Okay, so let's take about a 10-minute break,
Okay.
and we'll discuss it then, all right? Let me see if I can get all these issues resolved. Yes, Mr. Schwartz, and he's going to do rebuttal. So you'll do your JOA at the end of rebuttal, okay? Thanks. All righty, court's in recess, 10 minutes.